Joining Gerwin Jones now for Arnie Coro's program, DXers Unlimited.
CQ the X, CQ the X, CQ the X. This is Havana calling. CQ the X, CQ the X, CQ the X. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to... DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hi, Gerwin Jones here at Radio Havana Cuba Studio 6, sitting in for Arnie Coro, who is on special assignment. It is my pleasure today to read from Arnie's script for the weekend edition of DXers Unlimited, our station's twice-weekly radio hobby program. First, a word about the title of Arnie's program. DXing is the hobby of receiving and identifying distant radio or television signals, or making two-way radio contact with distant stations in amateur radio, citizens band radio, or other two-way radio communications. Now, this is what Arnie has today for his loyal radio audience here on Radio Havana Cuba, RHC. Arnie writes, many radio hobby enthusiasts tell me that they became motivated by a chance listening at night to distant AM broadcast band stations. They also talk about that feeling of accomplishment when you tune in radio on the AM band and pick up stations located maybe up to 2,000 miles away. And this is what happened a few days ago. Mario, a friend of mine, called at about 7 p.m. local time to tell me he was picking up New York on his small portable radio. Coro, he said, it is WCBS New York on 880 kilohertz. They're coming in with quite a good signal. How is this possible? I started to reply to my friend that he had just experienced the ionospheric propagation mode enhancement of AM broadcast signals that takes place around sunset. There is a significant increase in the level of the signal. I told friend Mario that the fact that we were well into the winter season also helped. This propagation enhancement is known as Terminator line or Gray line. I encouraged amigo Mario to continue exploring the AM dial that cold evening because propagation conditions for AM broadcast band DXing were excellent. Low solar flux and almost non-existent static from thunderstorms again helped to create an almost ideal environment for long-distance AM broadcast band signals. The following afternoon, I received another call from Mario, who enthusiastically read me a list of stations he had picked up the previous evening. He added that, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, he had picked up several more DX stations. I sent him a short document by email that dealt with that interesting, low-cost aspect of the radio hobby, AM broadcast band DXing. A week later, Mario emailed me a list of stations he had heard. He was obviously enthusiastic about receiving more stations with a new loop antenna that he had decided to build following my advice. So, a new AM broadcast band DXer was born by chance. When just having an early supper, he started slowly to explore the dial of his portable AM radio, finding his first DX station, WCBS 880 kilohertz from New York City, a 50 kilowatt station equipped with an excellent antenna system. A few weeks later, after his first encounter with a DX signal, Mario had already picked up 40 stations from 7 different countries, including the USA, Canada, Mexico, the Bahamas, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Colombia. As well as this, he got the signals from several stations in eastern Cuba, located in the provinces of Guantanamo, Granma, Holguin, Las Tunas, and Camagüey. Arnie continues, even the most inexpensive AM band receiver is able to pick up distant stations when propagation conditions are really good. Now, if you happen to own an old Icom radio, then your chances will increase significantly of picking up AM broadcast band DX stations within the frequency range of 530 to 1700 kilohertz. Stay tuned for more hobby-related information. This DXers Unlimited special edition will continue in a few seconds. track via shortwave and streaming audio via internet with the special edition of DXers Unlimited. Today I'm describing how a radio hobby enthusiast became intrigued quite by chance with long-distance reception on the AM medium wave broadcast band. In less than a year, and after finding a much better receiver, amigo Mario has picked up a total of 110 stations. After sending signal reports to about 20 of them, requesting verifications, he now has a nice collection of 13 QSL cards and letters. For newcomers to my program, a QSL card is a written confirmation of either a two-way radio communication between two amateur radio stations, or a one-way reception of a signal from an AM radio, FM radio, television, or shortwave broadcasting station, or thirdly, the reception of a two-way radio communication by a third-party listener. Mario's present receiver is an old Hammarlund HQ129X that he found in the garage of a relative. The radio needed a major overhaul, and this was performed by a retired technician. He spent about 2 months replacing parts and realigning the radio. He had to replace all the electrolytic capacitors as well as coupling and bypass capacitors, plus a few carbon resistors and several vacuum tubes. The old HQ129X had belonged to the father of his relative, who was a radio amateur. Putting the receiver back to work properly was a major overhaul, but it was worth the time involved, and the job was a success. Now, Mario has become a regular shortwave listener too, enjoying, as he told me, picking up Radio Havana Cuba in English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish, after he installed a TTFD broadband antenna for the frequency range of 6 to 30 megahertz. A TTFD is a tilted, terminated, folded dipole, also known as a T2D. The dipole is also capable of picking up with less efficiency stations that operate between 4 and 6 megahertz. I expect that Mario will soon become a member of our Plaza Amateur Radio Club, as he is already monitoring the 40 meters amateur band segment between 7.000 and 7.200, where a large number of Cuban radio amateurs operate. This is especially during daytime hours when signals from all over the Cuban archipelago can be heard. At night, DX signals from faraway stations in Europe, North, Central, and South America, and the nearby Caribbean can be heard on 40 meters using the single sideband voice mode. Again, a word to newcomers to this fascinating pastime. Single sideband, or SSB, is the most popular mode of voice transmission on the HF bands in amateur radio. FM is mainly used above 50 megahertz. The SSB got its name from a key difference from the older AM, which is used by AM broadcast stations, and was the original voice mode that amateurs used. Mario's experience will soon see him become another Cuban amateur radio operator with his own station call sign. He was lucky to find a nice old radio receiver that could be totally refurbished and realigned. After a professional paint job, his 1949 vintage Hammarlund HQ129X general coverage receiver will surely form part of his first ham radio station, for which he is already gathering parts. Following my advice, his first transmitter is going to be a 3-vacuum tube, 25-watt CW radio telegraphy rig. Mario is already learning the Morse code by practicing with the excellent free computer software by G4FON, available from several internet websites. Several Plaza Radio Club members have listened to our Thursday 2 meters band 9 p.m. roundtable. After hearing about the 3-vacuum tube CW transmitter, have become interested in the project, since it makes possible the use of recycled parts obtained from compact fluorescent light bulb circuit boards, TV sets, computer backup power units, as well as motherboards and fax machines. The vacuum tubes used are locally available from old black and white TV sets, and there are many of them in our homes here in Cuba. Yes, amigos, amateur radio does not need to be an expensive hobby. You can learn a lot by joining a group building effort under the guidance of one or more technically savvy ham operators. The success rate of such projects is much higher than what can be achieved when working alone. My advice is join your nearest radio club and try to get close to those involved in home building of radio projects. Join me for the upcoming edition of DXers Unlimited. We're on the air Tuesdays and Wednesdays, coordinated Universal Time, or UTC, from the middle of the week program, and on Sundays and Mondays for the weekend edition of the show.
And that's
all for today. This is Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Now a treat for all